Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Asanat. If you're new here, take a seat. You do that by subscribing, so take a seat. I'll wait. Have you taken a seat? Okay. Today I'm going to be showing you one of the two ways I knit pants using my single bed knitting machine. If you're interested to see, then you should keep on watching. If you're new here, take a seat, by the way. I see you trying to take a seat. Take a seat. I have two methods I use to knit my pants. I have my 4-panel pants and 2-panel pants. Today I'm going to be doing the 2-panel pants because I think that's easier to make, and then you can progress to the 4-panel pants. I will show you the two types of pants and their constructions before we get into the tutorial. I have the Brother KH810, but I'm sure any single bed knitting machine will work. I also think circular knitting machines, you know, those ones that are circular, I think those ones will work as well, but I do not have one of those. I want one of those so bad, but I do not have one of those. But I think you can transfer the knowledge that I share with you guys in this video to a circular knitting machine if you have one. I taught myself how to knit pants 2 years ago because I wanted them so bad, and I could not find any tutorials here on YouTube that explained to me in a way that I understood. I saw one where she knitted bottom to top, but I'm knitting top to bottom. I'll link it down below for you guys if you are interested. It did give me an understanding on like construction of pants on knitting machine, but I just didn't get it quite as much. I have some knowledge in pattern making, so I use my knowledge from pattern making to, you know, teach myself how to knit pants. I'll be sharing all my tips with you guys, so stay tuned. Take a seat if you're new here, and let's just get into the video. For yarns today, I'm using this beautiful navy blue yarn. It is the Yeye yarn, 100% acrylic yarn. I just dropped something. I always drop something, but this is what the tag looks like, and this is the weight of the yarn. It's a very thin yarn, very thin and fine yarn. Today I'm going to be showing my 2-panel pants where you have just 2 panels for each leg. Make the first one that go over one of your legs, your right leg, and then you make the second one that goes over your left leg, and the same only runs between the crotch. For the 4 pants panel, we have seams running between the crotch and by the sides, so on the sides of the hips. There are very two important things that you need to note when making pants. First, the waistband. Second, the crotch. Crotch. How do you say that word? If you pick up any of your pants at home, you see that the front dips lower than the back, just so you can accommodate the butt. It is very important that you note that you don't make your pants to have the same length in terms of the band or the waistband. So it has to look like this. This waistband on the knitting machine, all we do is we knit short rows. So I'll show you how to do that as well. Another important thing, the second most important thing when knitting pants is the crotch. Again, I'm going to show you how to go about that. If you look at the crotch of this pants, you can see that it goes out and then tapers in a bit. So it doesn't like go out and then go straight down. It tapers in a bit. So you can pick up any pants that you have at home. You see this. If you also look at the pants, you see that the back crotch is longer than the front. Again, this is to accommodate the bum. So all these things that I just talked about the waistband and the crotch are very important. I'm going to show you how to achieve this look on the knitting machine. This pair of jeans, by the way, is a 4-panel pant. So you can see there's a piece in front that is seamed on the side to a piece in the back, or a panel at the back. Then you have another 2 panels for the other leg, but the one I'm going to be showing you today is just 2. So just this, no seam on the hips, and another one. So we'll only be seaming. I hope I'm not making you guys confused. We'll only be seaming here. For my measurements that should be on the screen right now, I am casting on 80 needles, so 40 on both sides for my center. This is my center. I have 40 needles on this side on my right and 40 needles to my left. I will use the E-wrap custom method. So what I'm going to do is make a slip knot and place my slip knot on my furthest needle, my first needle. My carriage is on the right now. So the E-wrap custom method for me is the best for this pants because I need everything to stretch. So I'm going to wrap under my needle and over. I'm going to lay my yarn underneath my needle and over, underneath my needle and over, underneath my needle and over, like so. I will link E-wrap cast on method tutorial in the description down below. But essentially, I'm just wrapping my needle under by placing it under the needle and over, under, over, under, over. So I will do this till I cast on the entire 80 needles. Now that I've casted on all my needles, I have 80, like I said earlier. There are some things that you should note. For this pant panel, the first one, this is the front, so here, and this is the back, so the back of the pants. It is very important to note this because when we start to put in the short rows, as you can see, this pant is a 2 pant panel. There's no seam running on the side of the hips. This is the front and this is the back. So you can see that it grows gradually. The waistband grows gradually. So it is very important for you to note your front and your back. For the first one, this is my front and this is my back. For the second one, it's going to be the other way because these panels are like mirror images. So don't forget, notify. I always start with this being my front and this being my back because I'm right-handed. But if you are left-handed or you prefer the other way, it's fine because we're going to do the other way anyways. So now I will switch my tension to 5.0 for the waistband. Now that I've casted on all my 18 needles and I've switched my tension to 5.0, I'm just going to knit the first round like so. Then I will use my weight comb to just hold things in place like this. So now my band, I'm going to knit the entirety of my band using the 5.0 tension, just so it can bring in my waist a bit. I have 34 rows on my counter and I want my band to be 35 rows long. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change my tension to 10.1. The reason why I'm doing this is so to differentiate where my band stops. So now that I've switched to a 10.1, I will know where my band stops when I'm trying to fold over the band, because we are going to be folding over the band like this. So you will see the stitch difference between a 5.0 and 10.1. So again, I will switch my tension back to 8.2. This is my main tension. This is the one I want to use for the entirety of the pants, or well, most of the pants. So I knit my 36 row. Remember how I told you to notify your back and your front? So again, this is my back. My carriage is on my back side for now. I'm going to start knitting short rows just so that the waistband can go like this. You can see this is the front and it gradually goes this way. For you to achieve this look, you need to put your needles, you need to knit short rows. So you can see that this part of the pants is short and then all this fabric is longer than the front. Can you see? Yeah. So now how to achieve that? We're on my 36th row. I'm going to knit 2 more rows, 37, 38. My carriage is on the back. Your carriage needs to be on the back of your pants. So wherever your back is, for you to knit short rows. I will switch this knob right here from 1 to 2. What that does is not going to knit all the needles I bring to non-working position. So if I pull out needles to the front of my machine like so, switching the knob, when I pull out needles to the front like so, it will not knit. So what I'm going to do is to knit the short rows, I'm going to pull out 6 needles at a time. So I have 6 needles here that will not knit because my carriage is now on number 2 instead of number 1. So what I will do is I will knit my first like so. As you can see, those needles did not knit, and then my yarn I will wrap under the last needle, so the 6th needle. It is very important to wrap under the last needle so you don't have holes. If you don't remember to do this, when you knit the full needles, so when you're no longer doing short rows, you're going to have holes here. So don't forget to wrap. So you knit 1 row, you wrap under the 6th like so, you wrap under the 6th needle like so. and then you lay the yarn over the remaining 5 needles. Then you knit back, then you pull out another 6 needles. 2, 4, 6. I'm using 6 because that's the size I'm going for. I have experimented with this like a lot with different sizes. I've made this pants in different sizes, so I know 6 needles works for me. So now that I've pulled out the next 6 needles, I'm going to knit. So in total I have 12. I will knit. You see, all my 12 needles did not knit. I'm going to wrap my yarn under the 12th needle like so, and lay it over the 11th, or the 11 remaining needles. So I knit. I pull out another 6. 2, 4, 6. So I will continue to do this until I exhaust all my needles, or most of my needles. 2, 4, 6. You knit, you wrap. Don't forget to wrap, guys. 2, 4, 6. Knit, wrap. Essentially, this is the knob I was talking about that is preventing the needles in the E position from knitting. So this is how you do short rows. 2, 4, 6. Knit, wrap, knit. So you just continue to do this until you complete all your needles. As you can see, I've successfully knitted almost all my needles to non-working position. So I've been doing this gradually. I have just 3 needles left. So this is going to be my last short row. So I will knit again, wrap, and then knit like so. So I have successfully knitted. So now I'm going to move this knob back to 1, so you can knit all my needles. So now I'm going to be knitting full rows, no longer knitting short rows, because I have exhausted all my needles. So you see, all the needles are knitted. If you look at this piece of fabric, you will see that it grows this way. So this part is longer than just this little bit here. So this is how I accommodate for the butt or the bum. This is how I make my short rows for the back of my pants panel. Oh guys, if this video has been something, please like and subscribe. So now I need to say something. I don't think this is a beginner friendly project, but if you're an ambitious beginner like I was, like I said, I thought this to myself. I made a couple of mistakes, obviously. I wish I saved those mistakes, but I don't have them right now. But if you're an ambitious beginner like me, go ahead. But you might get frustrated. I had to like pick up some stitch. I dropped some stitches. I've made this pants only God know how many times. Now that I'm filming, things are not exactly going as planned. So if you are a beginner and you're ambitious, you have to be patient. So we are now on the 65th row. So it's time to start increasing for the butt. Again, this is my back, this is my front. So now my carriage is on the other side. I'm going to start increasing on the back of the pants every 10th row. So we're on the 65th row. Now I'm going to increase 1 needle by 1 needle. So I'm just going to move 1 needle to the front, and then I'll knit. And the next time I'm going to increase will be on my 75th row. So I'm going to do this every 10, just so the pants will gradually increase to accommodate for the back crouch. Like in this pair of jeans, you can see here that it grows gradually. So it's not just straight and then a sharp increase. You can see that it's like a slope at the back. I hope you guys can see that. So I'm just going to do this until I get to the crotch. I am on my 75th row now. It's time to place another increase on the back. We are not placing any increases on the front yet, so just the back. I'll place 1 more increase till I get to my 85th row. Another increase till I get to my 95th row. Another increase. I've gotten to my 135th row. It's now time for me to work in my crotch. I will show you. Here I have a little over 9 inches in length. So if you want it longer, this is going to fit high-waisted on me, by the way. If you want it longer, you need to go like to 130, 145, 155, depending on how long you want it, in case you have like longer torso. But if you are going for a lower rise, you need to not get to 135 essentially. But then that would mean that you would have to increase every 5 rows, because if you increase every 10 rows and you're making a very low waist, you will not have enough fabric to wrap over your bum, except of course you don't mind, you want it tight, you like the way. Okay, guys, this is where my mic died. I don't remember exactly what I was talking about here, but I'm going to try to explain everything that you need to know, all the important details. So don't worry too much. Very soon the mic is going to come back on. But yeah. So here I'm trying to show you again that the short rows, you can even see in the light how the stitches gradually grow. So the short rows are very important for the back panels or the back of the pants. So I think the next thing I did here was to measure. I measured the front that was coming up to a little over 9 inches. That makes the back a little over 11 inches because the short rows will give us 2 inches increase. If you feel like you need longer than this, all you need to do is not short row 6 needles at once. So you can do 4 or 6, then 4, 6, then 4. But I find that 6 works for me also because everything stretches. It's usually fine. So here I'm showing you using this diagram where we are at on the pants. So where I marked now is where we are at on the pants. So we need to grow the pants out a little bit, as you can see from this um, sketch we have here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're just going to cast on a bunch of needles on both sides of the pants to accommodate for this crotch. So now that the carriage is on the front, I'm going to cast on 2 needles in front, 12 needles, sorry. I'm going to cast on 12 needles in front. I found that that's the measurement that works perfectly for my size. So that's the first time, or this is the first time we are increasing the front at all. I don't know why I always count my needles in twos. So I will use the E-wrap cast on method to cast on those 12 needles. It feels like I'm casting on backwards when I do this, but it's not so bad. It just feels weird on my hands. So yeah, you can see me using the E-wrap cast on method to cast on the 12 needles, the first increases that we are placing in the front. See me struggling a bit because again, it feels like I'm doing it backwards, but honestly, it's not too bad. It's fine. You can do it. I will cast this on, then I knit. I'm going to knit my new 12 needles that I just casted on. And then on the back, we're going to cast on 16 needles. The back needs to be longer than the front. I mentioned that in the start of the video. You can see me here counting my needles in twos again. And here again, I'm going to use the E-wrap cast on method to cast on all the 16 stitches, or needles rather. Okay, then I knit. I've casted on all 16. 16 for the back, 12 for the front. I find that this fits my size perfectly. It just fits. Nothing is too tight, too loose, nothing is puckering. So the difference between the needles in front and the back is 4. So yeah, I'm using my weight comb to hold down the 12 new stitches that I just casted on in front without getting to the back. Then I knit the back as well, the new 16 needles. I'm going to take out my weight, struggle with knots in my yarn. And then the next thing I'm going to do is going to place the weight, the comb weight on the entire thing, so you can weigh the entire project down so no stitches will unravel. That's what I'm doing here. Then I knit again, and I think I'm going to knit one more time just so my carriage is on the opposite side of where I started my new increases from. So now my carriage is on the back and I started my increases on the front side. So I'm showing you here again why we need to place decreases, just so the shape of the pants is perfect. will not have excess fabric. So I'm going to place in decreases, one needle decrease every 4 rows, and I'm going to do that for a total of 3 needles. So here you see me placing one decrease on the front because I started with the front. That's where I started casting off the 12 needles. Then I'm going to knit one, then place another decrease on the back, just one needle. Then I will knit as well. I knit again, 3, 4. Then I'm going to place another decrease on the front. So this is my second needle decrease, the second of 3. I knit one, I place another one at the back. I knit 2, 3, struggle with knot, 4, struggle again. Then this is going to be my last decrease. So this is the third needle I'm going to be decreasing, third and final. I'm going to place another one at the back. And that's it. That's how I essentially shape the crotch. So that way I don't have any excess fabric. If you knit this straight up and down, you have like a weird fabric between your legs. It's not fun. It's not even going to look like a camel toe, it's just saggy. So here I'm showing you what it looks like. You can see that there's a slope or there's a slant to the fabric there. So this will give you like a very perfect shape. If you are knitting your pants straight up and down, you're not putting in any shape or anything. From here, you can just knit straight up and down. So no decreases, no increases. You have like a beautiful silhouette as well. Guys, I didn't realize my mic had died. I'm going to try to salvage this by putting in voiceovers. But now I have gotten to 200 row and it's time for me to start to shape my pants. So it is 15 inches in the front and 17 at the back because you can see that I have my short rows going on. So essentially for my pattern that I have here, I decrease everything for from 200 to 240. So now that I'm on 200, I'm going to knit, decrease one stitch, knit, then decrease the other. I like to decrease on the opposite side of the carriage. I just find that it is easier for me that way. So now the next time I'm going to be doing these decreases is on 210 row. So I'll just make a note. I've gotten to my 210 row. I'm going to place another decrease like so. Oh, don't forget to put in stitch markers just so you know where your decreases are starting from. It just makes things easier that way because you know stockinette stitches like to curl up. I haven't gone so far, so I know where I can still see where my decreases started from. Now I will decrease again. The next time I'm going to be decreasing is going to be on the 220th. So I'm going to do this till I get to 240. Now I have gotten to my 240th row, so it looks like this. What I'm going to do now is because I need the decreases to come in faster, I'm going to start decreasing every 5 instead of every 10. So I'm going to do this till I get to 260, decreasing every 5. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll place another decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we have gotten to 260 and I'm no longer placing any decreases. I'm going to start placing decreases. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just checking to be sure. On the 260th row, I'm going to change my tension to 10.1 and then I'm going to also put stitch marker just to notify. I am changing my tension to 10.1 because I'm going to start putting in the flare parts of the pants so it drapes better. So after switching my tension to 10.1, the highest tension I have here, I will start to increase every 6 till I get to 304. So I place my first increase just by pulling out my needle on the opposite side of the carriage. I knit. I place another one on the other side. I knit. On my 266 now, again, I'm going to place another increase by moving my needle to the front. I'm just holding things down because I just switched to another ball of yarn. So I increase on the other side too. So 3, 4, 5, 6, increase. I'll do this till I get to 304. Now I have gotten to 304. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start placing increases every 4, just so the flare of the pants will be like dramatic. It will grow faster. But if you do not want that, you can just keep increasing every 6 till you get to your desired length. So now I'm just going to start increasing every 4. 1, I'll place another one here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will continue to do this till I get to 440 or 450, depending on the length I want. 440 to 450 is my preferred length, but I might actually make this 430 just so it's not too long. So it will be like a more everyday pair of pants. Okay guys, this is what I have. I'm on 440. I think this should do. What I'm going to do now to cast off, I'm going to take out my yarn from the carriage. I will lay my yarn 3 times over the length of my project. So 2, 3, and I'll add a few extra just for good luck and snap. So this is essentially what I'm going to be using to cast off. I don't know the name of this cast off method. I'm going to try to find the name and a better tutorial, but I'll show you what I'm doing. This takes so long. This is annoying actually. So what I am doing, I'm going to pass my yarn into or through my darning needle like so. So buckle up guys. But I find that this is the best cast off method for me because this is very stretchy and drapey, so I don't lose like the stretchiness and drape that I've been working on since the what now 260 rows. So I'm pulling my yarn. I'm starting from the right because I'm right-handed and this is convenient for me. You can see the stitches on the needle. I will place my darning needle through the back, from the front to the back and back to front of the next. So the first needle or the first stitch, front to back, and then I will loop my needle back to front, like so. Now I'm going to go to the first one, but instead of looping it through the second, I'm going to loop it through the third from the back. So now moving ahead, I'm going to go into the second stitch, front to back, and then go into the fourth. So essentially, you're going through the front of number 2, skipping number 3, and going into number 4. So now I will going through this one, which is my third needle now, and I will skip my fourth needle, place my needle, my darning needle through the back of my fifth, like so, and pull. So now I am on my 1, 2, 3, 4, my fourth needle. I'll place my darning needle into the stitch on my fourth, skip the fifth, and go into the sixth. So this will have your project with stretches, I find. I will continue to do this for the entire length of the project. This is annoying sometimes, but usually very worth it. I'll show you how stretchy the cast off is when I complete it. Okay guys, I have finally casted off every stitch here. I think it took me about maybe 10 minutes or more. Maybe I'm tripping. So now I'm just going to take this off my machine. This is the extra tail that I had. But see how stretchy. Hold on. See how stretchy, guys. I think it's totally worth it. So now this is the first panel. So when we go over my left leg, like so. This is the front, this is the back. You can see the back is a lot. It looks like it's tiny, but it works. It works. So now we're going to do the same thing essentially for the other side, just a few differences. Again, I'm going to start off by casting 40 needles on both sides, so 80 in total. Okay, I'm just going to do the same thing and cast on like I showed you using the E-wrap method. My carriage is on the right side. I'm right-handed, so I typically start from the right. Now I switch back to 8.2, which is going to be my main tension for the fabric or for the main body of the pants. So I will knit one. My carriage is on this side now. Like I said earlier, this is the back. So now my carriage is on this side, it's on the 37th row. For the other one was 38. Doesn't matter, just one stitch difference. So, or one row difference rather. So now my carriage is on this side. I'm going to switch my knob to 2. So that way it only knits all the needles that are in the working positions. The ones in front, it will not knit. And I will start to place my short rows. So because this is my front now, my short row is going to be smaller from the front and become big towards the back, as this is the back. So I'm going to pull out 6 needles like I did in the first one. 2, 4, 6. I knit. Make sure to wrap. Then knit. Another 6, 2, 4, 6. So it's knit, wrap, knit, 2, 4, 6, knit, wrap, knit. So I'm going to do this till I exhaust all my needles. As you can see now, I have 3 needles left. So I'm just going to knit the last one, my last short row. So now I'm going to move my knob back to 1, where I'm going to be knitting full rows. So now we have 64 here as opposed to 65 in the first panel. That's because again they are mirrored. So from here I will start to place 1 increase on the hip side, or on the back side rather. I'm going to start placing 1 increase on the back side, which is here in this case, every 10. So 64, I'll place my first increase. I'll need 10. We are now on 74, so I'm going to place another increase on the back till 84, 94, 104, 14, 24, 34. Okay, now we've gotten to 134, and it's time to start placing the crotch. For the crotch increases, this is the front in this case, and this is the back. So I'm going to cast on, cast on 12 needles, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 for the front. And I'm going to use the E-wrap method to cast these needles on. So I have casted the front, and now we knit to the other side, which is the back. On the back side, I'm going to cast on 16 needles. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Because the back needs to be like longer than the front. This is what works for me from, I haven't experimented a lot with different measurements. So I'm going to suggest that you try different needle sizes and numbers just to get the fit that you prefer. So in order for these stitches not to just jump off my needles, I'm going to use this weight without getting all the way to the end here. Then I knit. I take out my weight. Sometimes it gets stuck, just take it out. Then I place my weight back now on every needles on this machine, on the bed. So I'm just going to knit 2, 1, 2, 3 actually. So I've gotten to 139. Then I'm going to start placing decreases. I was explaining this in the first clip. You know my mic was off. Let me show you my diagram again. So this is what it looks like. We've gotten to this point of the pants here. So now we want to shaping this lower part, because if we don't, it's going to be boxy and then you just have a saggy fabric underneath here. So you want to shape this part in. So I do that by decreasing 3 needles every 4 rows. So now I decrease like so. 1, I decrease on the other side too. 2, 3, 4. This is my second needle decrease. 1, 2, 3, and this is my last. After this needle, I'm no longer placing decreases at the crotch or the crotch. I can't make up my mind what pronunciation I'm going with. So now I'm just going to knit till I get to 200, when I'm going to start to shape the ties again. So from here, we're doing essentially what we did for the first panel on the second. Okay, let's check my mic. Okay, I've gotten to 200. I'm going to start placing 1 decrease. Don't forget your stitch markers. I'm going to start placing 1 decrease every 10 rows till I get to 240. And then from 240, I'll start placing 1 decrease every 5 rows till I get to 260, just like we did for this one. I've gotten to 260. I'm going to place stitch markers, and then I'll switch my tension to 10.1. And from 260, I'll start increasing every, let me make sure, every 6. Yeah, every 6 till 304. So again, once I get to 304, I'll start increasing every 4 till I get to 430. And yeah, essentially I'm done. 430 or 440, I don't even remember. Did I write it down? But I'll measure. I think I did 430. Oh boy, 430 or 440, I'll find out. Okay, I have successfully cast out the second panel. I kind of timed myself from all the songs I listened to, and I think this has taken me 22 minutes to cast off. So these are the panels for the pants. It doesn't look like much, but it's a lot. Okay, so I'm going to stop this part here. I'm going to have a part 2 where I'm going to show you everything that you need to do from here, from sewing the pants panels together to weaving in ends and putting in the elastic band and ironing it out. Preferably steaming it, but I don't have a steamer. So yeah, come back for part 2. That should be in a couple of days after you see this, to complete this pants panels. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have stayed this far and you haven't subscribed yet, if you haven't taken a seat yet, please take a seat. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Au revoir.